Time to talk Mega Man. Now, let me give a little recap about the character in the franchise. Mega Man was created by Keiji Inafune, and the first Mega Man game came out in 1987 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. If I recall, Mega Man was one of the most popular games on the NES, and I believe it was the most successful non Nintendo made game to be on the NES. This is an honor that Mega Man shares with Castlevania. Mega Man is so much part of the Nintendo lineup. It was even mistakenly considered a first-party Nintendo game, which is great for it because it got it that bit of extra attention. Now, Mega Man really pumped out games back in the day, like the late 80s, early 90s. You got game after game: Mega Man, Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4, Mega Man 5, and Mega Man 6. All of them primarily on Nintendo consoles. It wasn't until later on when Mega Man had become more third party per se. Well, calling it third party is a bit strange when you consider that it's third party to begin with, but it is still. It just started to leave the Nintendo platform. Now, even Mega Man 7 was available on the Super Nintendo, but by Mega Man 8, it kind of went to the PlayStation. So, yeah, eventually it had to leave Nintendo, for better or worse. I would say that by Mega Man 8, that's when things took a dip for the main series, because Mega Man kind of floundered. Like, Mega Man is such a confusing subject for so many people. He was considered the mascot for Capcom, the face of the company. Just like Nintendo has Mario, just like Sega has Sonic. Those two were definite mascots for their company, and many consider Mega Man to be that mascot for Capcom. Thing is, Capcom probably never really had a mascot. I mean, if they did, they probably forgot or just stopped caring for the Mega Man franchise on it at a whole. That was, yeah, it was kind of a bummer because Mega Man went from being one of the most beloved franchises within video games to being so sparingly used over the years. Now, Mega Man had extra success. You had the Mega Man X games, which were spin off games to the main series. Like, Mega Man takes place in a certain time, 2000 XX, or however you want to call it. The character was a robot created by Dr. Light. He was intended to be a helper robot, and then the villainous Dr. Wily decided he's going to take a bunch of these robots and he's going to use them to take over the world. And that's when Mega Man decided he wanted to be the hero to save the world. So there you have it. One Mega Man was not intended to be a hero type robot. He chose to, which was arguably a human choice and a little bit of a theme with the Mega Man franchise. He's a robot, but he has like this mentality that he expected a human to have. He wanted to fight for good. He wanted justice. So then you have the Mega Man X games, which take place like I believe 100 years in the future. Now I won't pretend to be fully knowledgeable about Mega Man X. The only major things that I know about Mega Man X is that one, it was a little more. How would I say it? Classic Mega Man was, I wouldn't say kiddie, but it was kind of like Sonic in a way that it had like a story. It got a little deep at points, but it was still like very marketable. It was like E-rated stuff. Mega Man X, borderlines T-rated. I was put in like the Legend of Zelda position. The most popular character out of Mega Man X, besides X, of course, was Zero. I don't even know how I would describe someone like Zero. He just became like the breakout star. He's almost the Shadow the Hedgehog of the Mega Man franchise. I mean, they both had at least they had some similar stories. They both didn't understand their own creation. They both were kind of associated. They're seemingly associated with evil. Like Zero, not sure if he's associated with Dr. Wily, or you have Shadow realizing that he was created partially by Black Doom with assistance from Gerald. And they both felt the loss of somebody they cared about. Of course, with Zero, it was kind of memed at first with the whole, "What am I fighting for?" Well, then again, Shadow's a meme with his whole, "I am the ultimate." Uh, that's the thing. It should have become memes when it's trying to be serious, and thankfully, that game got a re-release, so Zero didn't sound as silly when he said the "What am I fighting for?" line. But again, I could be mistaken, but this is what I gathered from the games. Now, what? But one other spin-off to Mega Man that I also want to discuss is Mega Man Legends. Now, Mega Man Legends came out in the late 90s. It was for the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. It took a little bit of a different turn. Like the old classic Mega Man games, there were side scrollers. You have to constantly go right and basically shoot enemies in your path and then defeat a boss. Whereas Mega Man Legends was more third person, explore the world, and then, well, you still have to shoot a bunch of things, but you do it in third person. I will say from experience, Mega Man is one of the hardest video games that I've played. Like, these levels were ridiculously hard. I don't think I've had that much difficulty with a video game like I did with Mega Man. I mean, I played difficult video games. I played Cuphead. That was a difficult game, as anyone could tell you that Cuphead is a difficult game. I played Elden Ring. I can't even say that I'm that good at Elden Ring because that game is ridiculously hard to get good at. Maybe I just need more practice, but Mega Man's definitely up there as hard because one, you got to be good with your shots. Two, you got to have like these fast like reflexes to watch out for enemies. You got to know what power up to use. The thing about the Mega Man games is that you can fight whatever boss you want, but each boss has a weakness, and you got to figure out what that boss's weakness is. So you got to figure out where's a good spot to start because with every enemy you defeat as Mega Man, you get a power up from that boss, and you have to use that power up to fight another boss. So yeah, it was a bit of a puzzle figuring that out. I've had trouble figuring it out. I've had so much trouble that I pretty much just looked it up online because I did not have the patience to figure it out. So, whatever. I can't say I played almost all the Mega Man games. Like I played a few on Xbox Live. They have like the classic Mega Man collection. I got the Mega Man 8 for the PlayStation 1, as well as Mega Man Legends. Mega Man was just in a really bad position at one point. If I recall, early 2000s, his creator left Capcom, and it was not. And it had like a few bad omens. A few Mega Man games got canceled. Mega Man was left out of Marvel vs. Capcom, which was, I will say, leaving him out of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was one of the weirdest choices I've seen Capcom made. And it's not like they were done with Mega Man, considering they were fine with putting Zero from Mega Man X, as well as Tron Bonne, one of the antagonists of Mega Man Legends, and decided, okay, let's let's just put them in there, but just leave Mega Man out for whatever reason. Yeah, he came back for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but that game pretty much sucked. So, and then the whole thing was Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and that instead of using classic Mega Man, they used bad box art Mega Man. Okay, like when Mega Man got localized, it was given, in addition to changing his name from Rockman to Mega Man, he got this terrible box art because for whatever reason the West felt compelled to come up with their own box art that looked so weird. But that was just, it was seen as a bit of disrespect considering where he was, and it wasn't until he appeared in Smash Brothers for the Wii U and 3DS that Mega Man kind of got a little respect back, and got a little motivation from Capcom to create Mega Man 11 for the Switch and the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I will say still, despite all that, Mega Man's just had it tough. Because how do you go from being so beloved at one point and then being forgotten about? he's not the only one. Anyone who's a fan of Crash Bandicoot knows that franchise has gotten a little wonky over the years. Anyone who's been a fan of Spyro the Dragon, again, a franchise that just got a little wonky over the years. Sometimes franchises happen, or they do that. Like that happens to franchises, in that you start off big and then, not everything can maintain the momentum that Sonic and Mario have. And unfortunately, Capcom decided that Street Fighter, Resident Evil, and Devil May Cry were unprofitable. And Monster Hunter, can't forget that. But Mega Man, yeah, forget about it. Mega Man's had some success. I mean, Archie Comics was nice enough to do a comic book series based on Mega Man, as well as a few crossovers with Archie Sonic. But from there, like, I am personally not that emotionally invested in Mega Man. I like the franchise, and I played some of the games, but I could understand what it's like when you love a franchise and it just doesn't get that love anymore. I guess I could compare it to the Siphon Filter games. They were my favorite PlayStation games, but over time that franchise just took a nosedive, and I'm like, I'll stick with the classics. So at least you can say that once upon a time, Mega Man was a big franchise, and you know what? For a lot of people, it still is a big franchise. Regardless of what Capcom did, it still has a devoted fan base, and who knows, maybe it'll make a comeback one day. It just needs a little love and attention. So once Capcom's done with whatever they're doing with Street Fighter or Resident Evil, maybe one day they'll go back to Mega Man, because Mega Man has a great cast of characters. You got Proto Man, who's maybe the Knuckles. Yeah, that's a poor comparison. I gotta come up with something else. He was like this. I don't know. Screw it. I'm just gonna move on. One character I like to talk about is Roll. Here's the funny thing about Roll. Roll, in every Mega Man franchise, or at least most of them, like Mega Man Legends and Mega Man.exe, Roll was considered the love interest. Somehow in the mainstream Mega Man games, she was considered his sister. But that might have been a localization issue, because there's plenty of hints that Roll was meant to be Mega Man's girlfriend of some sorts. Even an official manga showed her getting him some Valentine's Day chocolate, because in Japanese culture, a girl gives the guy chocolates on Valentine's Day. And she specifically wanted something called Hanmei chocolates. Now, in Japan, there's two types of chocolates. Hanmei, like I mentioned, and Tomo Choco. Tomo comes from the Japanese word tomodachi. So, if a girl gives a guy Tomo Choco, that means she sees him as a friend. If she gives him Hanmei, that means she has a crush on him, or she has feelings for him. And Roll definitely gave him the Hanmei, so hey, if a girl is, and that's a good way to tell a girl likes you. Make sure she gives you Hanmei chocolate. I guess that signifies it. But again, that's a Japanese thing that might have not been translated well in the West. Just felt like throwing that little tidbit out there. I ran on long enough about Mega Man. I just felt like, let me get this out there. Just trying to talk about different franchises. But if you liked the video, good. If you didn't, well, I give it my best shot. It's all good. I'm just gonna stop talking and just sign off from here. If I feel like come back to the Mega Man topic, I will. If not, well, so well. Storm Dash signing off. Have a good day.